Welcome back. Well, before we get into anything else today, I thought we'd talk about how we're all holding up. It's been a while. Oh, by the way, for those of you who missed the photobomb kitty yesterday, it's right over there, and there's the tail going back and forth, just to remind you that he's still here, right there. So, when we come back, let's talk about how we're feeling and how well we're holding up. All right. Well, I'm getting antsy. I will be honest with you. I'm just starting to get a little sort of cabin fever. I would like to be out doing normal things. I want to get my hair cut. I want to go out to lunch. I want to go out shopping. I am really missing the things that I used to do on a fairly regular basis. And that's starting to have an impact. Fortunately, I'm not getting depressed. I don't get depressed. It's like, I don't. I get irritated and frustrated, but depression, no. Depression is not my cup of tea. So that's how I'm dealing with this. It's manifesting in a sort of antsy, frustrated annoyance. And I am getting much more easily annoyed, mostly because the people around me are getting a whole lot crazier. They really are. I think they're probably suffering from cabin fever too. But that's how I am reacting. Everybody responds to stress differently. And I do have a concern that some of you may be getting a little depressed and a little fatalistic. Now, why would I say this? Well, there have been a couple of comments, not a lot, thank goodness, a couple of comments that have been left that lead me to believe that, for some of us anyway, our mood is sinking. So, let's talk about this. If you feel your mood is going down, look around at your behavior. And before we get started, just full disclosure, I am not a psychiatrist, just so you know. And even Sigmund Freud could not diagnose depression on a YouTube channel. We're just talking a little common sense here. If you think you have a serious problem, you get on the phone to your doctor, like right now, walk away from the video, pick up the phone. Depression is a very serious condition, and you certainly don't want to live like that. Not for 2 minutes, not for 2 weeks, not for 2 months. So deal with it. We're just talking about the blues. And if that's what's happening, if you're starting to feel like you've been in the house too long and you haven't seen your friends and you need a haircut and you'd like to go out to lunch and all the stuff I was talking about before, there are some ways that you can just pick yourself up a little. One of them is go out for a walk. Even if that's all you can do, just get yourself out the door and walk up and down the street a little. It's something. It's fresh air, it's sunshine. Oh, and they've done a lot of studies that lack of sunshine can really significantly lower your mood. No sense in adding lack of sunshine to everything else that's going on here. So get out, get a little bit of sunshine, a little bit of fresh air. Look at the cars going by, anything that gives you some sense of reassurance that life is still going on. If you're home from work, are you still getting out of bed in the morning? Are you still getting dressed? Are you still taking a shower? You know, one of the The major symptoms of depression that nobody really likes to talk about is lack of personal hygiene. When people start to feel depressed, showering and washing your hair and, putting on clothes, it just doesn't become as important as it used to be. If you're noticing anything like that, first of all, that's a serious symptom. Call a doctor, get some help. But if you feel you can pull yourself out of this, well then, set the alarm. Get out of bed at your normal time. Take a shower, get dressed, and do something, anything. Even if all your day consists of right now is getting out of bed, getting a cup of coffee, wandering around the house looking for mischief, and watching television or YouTube videos. At least try to get yourself together in a nice little organized package before you take on the day. If you have friends, talk to your friends. Don't just text them. Texting is great, but pick up the phone and talk to them, that back and forth human connection. That's going to be helpful. I do worry that some of us may not have had normal interactions with humans, since the start of this lockdown. A lot of us have family at home with us. We don't live alone. In that case, life is good. But there are also those of us who don't have family or don't have adults, which in fact can often be even worse if you are alone with nothing but very small children. That can be problematic too. So I guess the bottom line is take care of yourselves. Look at what's going on. Just stop in your tracks and say, am I behaving the way I usually behave? Is there anything in my behavior that leads me to believe I might be reacting to the lockdown? I might be starting to show signs of depression, of isolation. I know I am. The irritation, that alone, I can absolutely tell you, my antsiness and my irritation is telling me I'm showing signs, and it's my good fortune that I'm not inclined to get depressed. So I don't have to sit back and say, well, if this keeps up, I'm just going to kill myself. No, my problem is if this keeps up, I'm going to kill somebody else. Somebody is going to say something or do something, and I'm going to say, I'm sorry, you're too stupid to live, and I'm just going to take care of their problem for them. So I have to be very, very careful of that because my fuse is growing shorter. I know. Oh, and by the way, the photobomb kitty, he is a big part of keeping me sane right now. Animals are great mood enhancers, and he's not going to stop me from shooting anybody, mostly because he's a misanthropic little cat. He just as soon shoot somebody himself. But he does keep my mood fairly stable. Thank you so much, because I love that tail up my nose. That's just, there we go. But take a look. See if there's anything that you need to be looking at, anything you need to be doing. Remember, if you feel like you're starting to just go under, there is help out there. There are national organizations. For starters, your doctor can recommend people. For many of us, times like this of unusual stress can be more problematic if we have some issues going in, if we're inclined to depression, if we're inclined to anxiety, if we are inclined to bipolar disorder or whatever. Don't you think? Yes. So this is just my quick little, let's take care of ourselves. Let's look at this and see if we need to call a timeout and get a little help. Also, as time goes on, and I know I am looking at another 2 weeks of this, doesn't look good for the neighbors, does it? Oh, 2 more weeks, my goodness. So I'm going to have to be very cautious. I need to look at my behavior and just say, okay, let's be calm. Nobody's trying to make you nuts. Yes, of course, they're all stupid, but they don't mean it, because that's the way my craziness goes. But I do have some good news. So my contractor is coming back to finish up the roof. I was really afraid we were not going to be able to do this because of this whole business about essential businesses and services. And my contractor, quite frankly, is not an essential service. I suppose if I tried really hard, I could make a case that I must have that schoolhouse roof back. But the truth is that, this is not absolutely essential. But he's a small business person. I'm sure he's feeling the pinch, I'm sure he'd just as soon be working. And frankly, if he can do it, if the law allows him to do it, and he's willing to do it, so we're going to do it. So that will be good. We will be getting the roof put on the schoolhouse, and that's going to give us some stuff for videos too, because I know a lot of you have been asking, how is the schoolhouse going? And I really want to get him involved in that video because he can explain what's been done, what needs to be done, why they did what they did. Me, I can take a bunch of pictures and say, here's what they did. But, he can go into more detail. So, and that I think would be more valuable and useful. So that is the good news. We're going to be able to start, I believe on Monday, we'll be able to start getting some film of the schoolhouse, getting that roof back on. The downside is we're not going to be able to film videos while they're working on the roof, because those of you who have never had roofing work done, trust me, it's extremely noisy. But for me, this is good because that's giving me a light at the end of the tunnel. That's giving me something else to focus on, aside from the fact that, I'm here and I would like to not be here. So anyway, I thought that was the first thing we ought to cover. Let you know about the schoolhouse. And then we'd go back and pick up a little bit of what we were talking about yesterday in terms of easy ways of approaching cleaning and organizing. Because we were approaching cleaning, but we didn't get too close to organizing. Here we go. Sorry about that. I want this. One of my issues in cleaning, as you know, is organizing the reselling inventory. With the schoolhouse without a roof, storing things in the schoolhouse is just not an option right now. So everything has sort of migrated into my kitchen. No, not a good idea. So that's what I've been working on getting a handle on. Oh, and by the way, I'm making remarkable progress. I'm really, really pleased. If I actually had to feed someone at my kitchen table, it wouldn't take me more than 10 minutes to clear it off, which is good, because believe me, last week I would have to have said, oh, it wouldn't take me more than 2 hours to clear that mess out. Yeah, now it's 10 minutes. Doesn't sound like much, but I promise you that's a huge improvement. My goal is by the time we are through with lockdown here, that all of the inventory will be herded into one area. With any luck, that will be the doll room. And I know a lot of you were saying, oh, we want to see the doll room. Why? All the dolls are in boxes. Seriously, the doll room is boxes. Oh, look, here's a box. There's another box. Um, they have little Post-its on them telling me what's in the boxes, and that's it. The dolls are not out on display because I'm even though I say that I am a doll collector, I'm really not a doll collector as much as I am a doll seller. And even at that, it's just a very part-time thing. So I don't have anything sort of out there. But given the fact that so many of you have taken an interest in the dolls, I will dig out a couple of dolls and we'll do a little dolly fashion show. I'll get you some pictures and I'll show you the little dolls in their little doll dresses, and we can have some fun with that. Let's just sort of retreat back into our childhood. But right now, doll room is just boxes. And that's one of the reasons that I can throw an inventory of porcelain in there, and it's just not a big deal because, you know, it's not like there are dolls all over the place in there. But that's my goal, and by the time I'm out of lockdown, I want that inventory all organized. My new goal, which in fact I was just able to get in touch with my contractor about the schoolhouse roof, and like I said, we're pretty sure he's going to go ahead. So my new goal is maybe the roof will be done within the next 2 weeks. I don't know how long it's going to take. I think 2 weeks is just about right, though. And that would be great. That would be beyond great. And we could go out and go over and take pictures and take video, and we can watch. We can make a complete pain in the butt of ourselves with the construction people. They're going to be here. They're going to be putting a roof on. We'll go out with the camera. What you doing now? What you doing next? Oh yeah, I can make them totally crazy. We'll get videos out of this. You will be able to see people throw stuff at me. That'll be fun. But we will have some things to do. And I want you to have some things to do too. I want you to be able to come out of the other end of this with some sort of accomplishment. For me, my initial accomplishment goal was to get a handle on that inventory because it was just like literally all over the kitchen. I was tripping over stuff on the floor. Looks like that's going to be taken care of. So I would strongly encourage you all to look around your environment. It doesn't have to be your house. It can be your garage. It can be your yard. It can be anything. And say, this is what I would like to accomplish over the next couple of weeks. And let's see if we can find ways to tackle these projects. Remember, my theory is a little bit of action is better than nothing at all. If what you feel you can do today is going into your bedroom with a paper towel and a can of Pledge and saying, I'm going to clean off the top of that dresser and that's what I'm going to do today. Fantastic. It's not like anybody's standing over you with a stopwatch saying, you're not working hard enough, you're fired. It's your home. You're not on anybody else's clock. And if you find that after you've cleaned off one dresser, you want to go on to another, or maybe you'll do the night tables too, so much the better. But we can do this. We can find things to do. Small goals, little projects, things that will enhance your life. Believe me, getting porcelain out of my kitchen is definitely going to enhance the quality of my life. Oh my goodness, will it ever. Getting the roof on my schoolhouse will too. So I'm looking at ways that I can pull something positive out of this. And I would like you to do the same. Just look around. Anything. Let me know in the comments. Oh, and One more thing I want to throw out to you folks. Someone had asked a very interesting question in the comments when we were talking about what to do with items of sentimental value. And one of our viewers had said, I got a whole bunch of gifts, 25 years worth of gifts from the kids and people. What do you do with that? What do you think? We have a lot of artists of all kinds. We have jewelry repurposers. We have people who restore furniture. We have actual fine artists, painters, sculptors. You know that. You've seen some of their work. What do you folks think? What are your ideas as artists, as repurposers, as restorers, refinishers, salvagers? What do you think can be done with the things that we collect that are too sentimentally valuable to throw away, but may well be sitting in boxes? And just look at the whole broad scope. What do you do with all the jewelry you inherited from Grandma? That's one for Karen Hopper. Karen, we want to hear from you on that, because we know what Karen would do with it. Karen, what do you think we ought to do with it? What about paper crafts? Someone had written in and said that her family, and I guess it was her and her grandchildren, turned paper crafts into placemats, cards and things that they had acquired over the years, and photographs and whatever. They made placemats out of them. Just did collages, covered them in glitter, stuck contact paper on them, clear contact paper, so they could be used as placemats. What a wonderful idea. So let's hear from you. What are your favorite ideas for clearing out stuff that we know ought to be cleared out, but it's too sentimentally valuable to just dump it in the drink? What do you think? I have to say, excuse me, for me, I tend to be a tosser. That's what I do. When something comes along, I'm not very sentimental about things. And I don't have a lot of difficulty getting rid of things. But I know a lot of other people do. So I think if we put our heads together, we can find some way to deal with some of our massive amounts of clutter without sacrificing the sentiment. Okay, so that's our goal for this batch of comments. Remember, that beautiful necklace that Randy Romines made is still available. You've got a week to write in. All you have to do is throw in a comment. Thank you, Randy. Melissa W., we still need to hear from you. You won the bracelet from Karen Hopper, our jewelry repurposer. Beautiful watch face bracelet. We need to hear from you so that I can get that out to you. As far as everyone else is concerned, let's take a good look at our mood, at our behavior, and see if we're still doing okay. If we feel we're not doing okay, let's reach out for help. There are so many resources out there, but never underestimate the value of a sympathetic friend. Okay. I will see you all tomorrow. Hang in there. Take care. And let's just, get our finger on the pulse of our moods, because we've been locked down for a while and we could be locked down for a while longer. So stay safe. Stay sane. See you tomorrow.